The Museum of Television and Radio presents.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination.
Press the button, my friend. Send me back into time.
Space, the final frontier.
Make it so, Mr. Data.
Another number.
Time. Warning. There is nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We will control the horizontal. We will control the vertical.
Television, science fiction, and fantasy have been partners for a long time. In fact, television itself, the idea of sending pictures through the air, was first imagined by a science fiction writer more than 300 years ago.
50 years ago, television became a household reality, and with it, dozens of wonderful science fiction programs. Television shows that have entertained, amazed, astonished, and even enlightened us. I'm William Shatner.
And it is a great pleasure to meet you, sir. I am Leonard Nimoy. And we welcome you to the Museum of Television and Radio special, Science Fiction, A Journey into the Unknown.
Joining us on this journey later this evening, Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia of Star Wars, and Dean Cain, Superman from Lois and Clark. So let's start our journey and sample what lies in store for us this evening.
This happens to be the Twilight Zone.
I will not be pushed, filed, stamped, indexed, briefed, debriefed, or numbered.
Two parallel worlds.
You are under arrest.
Destroy.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's indescribable. I can hardly force myself to keep looking at it. Wait a minute, something's happening. There's a jet of flame springing from the mirror, and it leaps right at the advancing men. It strikes them head on. Lord, they're turning into flames. Now the whole field's caught up.
The famous 1938 broadcast of Orson Welles' production, War of the Worlds, a program that literally created panic in the streets. We open our show tonight fittingly with a segment called They're Here, Aliens on Earth. And we discover the panic over alien invasions that Welles started on radio was tailor-made for television.
Any moment now, something is going to be arriving that is guaranteed to stand your hair on end. You don't think they'll land in broad daylight, do you?
Something's happening!
Dear God, what is it?
Have they landed? They've landed.
But what would I do if they really came?
In 1963, we saw the first wave of alien invasions seize control of our television sets.
You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to the outer limits.
Tapping into the terror of its time, The Outer Limits is an anthology series that showcased alien monster stories with a message.
Fear cannot save us. Rage cannot help us. We must see the stranger in a new light.
The series routinely tested the inner resolve of human nature against alien true grit.
Your race is too prejudiced to tolerate any differences from its own kind. She saw me only as a monster.
What is it?
In The Galaxy Being, an alien stranger appears when a radio engineer solidifies sound waves from space. Then, by accident, the alien is unleashed on a community that doesn't understand its curiosity.
Line up on the transmitter shed.
Don't fire!
Fire!
I have told you not to use force. There are powers in the universe beyond anything you know.
Each week, the Outer Limits lined up some of the creepiest creatures ever seen on television. Having gained a foothold in the Outer Limits, the alien invasion of television was underway.
The Invaders.
In 1967, lost, lonely, and looking for a shortcut, architect David Vincent witnessed an alien landing. Realizing the importance of appearances, the aliens got smart. This time, they were back on prime time disguised as humans. Well, sort of. There were no doubts the aliens had landed in V, one of the most popular miniseries of all time. V combined a serious political statement with science fiction drama. This time, the aliens not only looked normal, but they were organized.
We have come because we need your help. There are certain chemicals and compounds which we must manufacture, which alone can save our struggling civilization. And in return, we will gladly share with you all the fruits of our knowledge.
Everywhere around the nation and the world, visitors are keeping order and making friends.
V began when I read Sinclair Lewis's novel, It Can't Happen Here, about the rise of fascism in America like it had happened in Germany and Italy. And then it occurred to me that, wait a minute, maybe there was a way to really take the Nazi occupation of Europe and translate it into a situation where we had a whole alien culture coming here ostensibly to be our friends, and then slowly, like the Nazis did, they revealed a different face.
They've come to rape our planet and kill us. They are not who they appear to be. This is not science fiction. This is what they are.
It's just a trick.
We ought to define our overall plan of resistance.
Right.
I agree with that.
Firstly, to undermine all visitor activity.
Sure.
Impede their progress every way that we can. And then secondly, I think we should find out what their hidden goals are.
Where's the chemical you guys are making?
There's no chemical.
What the hell? You're here to take the water.
Eventually, the alien forces would turn back once sympathetic aliens joined the human resistance movement. And for the first time, aliens and humans were fighting on the same side.
Unit 7 clear.
Kind of an Alien Cagney and Lacey set in 1995, Alien Nation deals with the inherent problems involved when one society tries to assimilate into another.
Oh, they're beautiful. Thank you. That's really nice of you.
Mom, I don't feel good.
Where'd you put my keys?
On the box. Look at this planter woman from across the street brought it.
Mom, it really does hurt.
On the box. That's
Emily,
helpful.
it's because it's your first day in a new school.
Well, to me, what Alien Nation was about at heart was learning that our similarities are much more important than our differences.
We shouldn't give them the right to vote. We shouldn't let them into our schools.
She's not civilized like us. So why don't we just put a gun to her head and end it all right here, huh?
We don't want her dead. We just want her back where she belongs.
She belongs here. You okay? Good girl. Go in there and show him your stuff.
Through the years, aliens have invaded more than just our planet. They've invaded our hearts and minds.
No.
Mork. An alien unlike any we'd seen on television before.
Now, if you want to pass for one of us, the first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to work on your voice.
Well, how about this one?
You say another word or blow your lips into the sink.
That one's not quite you.
Or this one?
Hey, Ralphie boy, Norton, to the moon, Norton!
How did you learn those voices?
We've been monitoring your TV for years. My favorite is, Lucy, you can't do the show.
Ricky, Babaloo!
Look, up in the sky. It's a bird.
It's a plane!
It's Superman!
In 1953, Superman was the first alien hero to have his own television series.
And who, disguised as Clark Kent?
As the ultimate alien role model, Superman was dapper, dependable, and downright honest.
Fights a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way.
But best of all, he could fly.
Just a guy in a pair of tights and a cape.
Lois and Clark, the return of Superman, the alien from Krypton, as a 90s kind of guy.
Believe me, I'm trying my best to be like everybody else.
An alien with distinctly human problems, even a wardrobe crisis when he tries to hide his true identity.
What do you think?
Well, one thing's for sure, nobody's gonna be looking at your face.
Mom?
Well, they don't call them tights for nothing.
I see it, but I don't believe it.
What, a man who flies?
No, Lois Lane finally, literally swept off her feet. Too bad he's an alien.
Our relationships with alien characters on television have come a long way from the panic and paranoia that predominated the 60s to our partnership with them in the 90s.
We'll be back with more when the Museum of Television and Radio special, Science Fiction, A Journey into the Unknown, continues.
Activate the time machine.
When we return, time travel.
Museum of Television and Radio presents Science Fiction, A Journey into the Unknown, is brought to you by Charmin. Introducing new Charmin Triple Roll. Not just longer, 3 times longer.
Science fiction on television has long been fascinated by time, and for good reason. Time is our most precious commodity. There never seems to be enough of it. But what if we could stop it? Imagine not only if we could stop time, but actually travel in it, revisit the past, or take a look at the future. Few ideas in science fiction are more fascinating than time travel. Few more intriguing than playing with destiny. In 1966, Time Tunnel tried to rewrite history from far below the desert surface. Here, scientists are working on a top-secret project. A tunnel that can transport people back in time.
All you've ever sent back in time are mice and monkeys.
So far, yes. Have you ever returned any of these animals to this laboratory, safe and sound?
Not yet, no. But
Then, so far as we know, this whole thing might be just a fancy disappearing act.
So scientists Tony and Doug decided to test out the time tunnel before it was finished.
What are you doing here?
We're tourists. Just sightseeing.
Nobody sightsees inside the Japanese consulate.
December 6, 1941. I can see my father again. Find out what did happen to him. Maybe warn him.
You wanted to see me?
Sir, we know for absolute fact Japan will launch a mass air attack on Pearl Harbor tomorrow morning at 7:55.
Well, it's impossible. It couldn't happen. I know you as well as I know my own son.
I am your son.
It's good to know my little boy will survive.
Tony and Doug never did change the course of history or make it back to the present.
Well, wherever he and Doug are now, at least they're together.
But where? We couldn't begin to guess.
In the new Twilight Zone, a Harvard historian from the year 2117 uses a watch-like computer to travel back in time. His destination is Dallas to observe the assassination of President Kennedy.
Get down! Get down! President!
Treasury 1 to Treasury 2, do you copy? President and First Lady are unhurt. Repeat, unhurt.
Give me the worst and the best case outcomes in this timeline.
Worst case scenario, nuclear exchange between the superpowers results in total annihilation of biosphere.
Realizing the consequences of his actions, he tries to set history back on course.
Stand by for operation of the time machine.
One of the first time travelers in television was Captain Zero, who fired up his time machine in 1955 and went back to pick up a despondent Leonardo da Vinci.
Life is now short. What have I completed? Nothing.
Captain Zero brings Da Vinci into the future so that he can see what has become of all his inventions.
And now, Mr. Da Vinci, I'm going to refocus the view screen from your studio in the 16th century and show you some of the things that are going on in the world today. These are but a few of the types of aircraft that have developed from your original flying machines. Your life has been most worthwhile, and you still have much to do.
Yes, yes, my studies and experiments are certainly not in vain. And thank you, whoever you are, for conducting me through a most fantastic dream.
Not even Da Vinci could have imagined what it's like to time travel on television.
Press the button, my friend. Send me back into time.
Activate the time machine.
Get on down there, move it!
What's going on?
Find out soon enough, boy.
Huh?
You need a little trim, Elvis.
In 1989, there was a new twist in time travel.
Oh, boy.
In Quantum Leap, a failed experiment in the future forces physicist Dr. Sam Beckett to leap back not only to another place in time, but into another person's body.
Wow.
Sam is guided by his friend Al, a hologram projected into the past that only Sam can see and hear.
One end of this string represents your birth. The other end, your death. You tie the ends together, and your life is a loop. Ball the loop, and the days of your life touch each other out of sequence. Therefore, leaping from one point in the string to another
Would move you backward or forward within your own lifetime.
which is our project, Quantum Leap.
In Color of Truth, Sam leaps back to the South of the 1950s.
There's got to be some mistake.
Biggest mistake you'll ever make, boy. Ain't that right, Toad?
Right as rain, Billy Joe.
All right, you two. Why don't you just cut it out? I don't want to spend the afternoon cleaning up blood. Do it, Jesse.
No, you don't. You made tea for us. I thought I'd join you.
I can't have tea with you, Jesse.
Why not?
Coloreds and whites don't eat at the same table.
If you want to eat with me, who says you can't?
I say I can't.
Why?
Well, because it's the way things are. The way things have always been.
Maybe it's time they changed.
Miss Melanie, once you've seen the light, you cannot go back into the darkness.
You want to go off and change the world, you're welcome to it. But if you want to work for me, we will close this conversation forever. Now, please go over to Miss Patty's and pick up my lunch.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Miss Patty.
Never mind, Jesse. I've decided to eat it here.
Good afternoon, Miss Stroud. Mighty nice. As long as he lives.
Oh, Jesse, will you join me for lunch?
Yes, ma'am, I guess I will.
At the heart of Quantum Leap is Sam's hope that the next leap will take him home to the future. Unfortunately, the closest he comes is leaping into his own past at the age of 16.
Sam, you scared 10 years out of me.
Here, Sam tries to change his own destiny for the better.
Al, listen, I don't want to be out of here. My dad dies of a coronary in '72. That gives me 3 years to prevent it. And Tom comes home for Thanksgiving before shipping out to Vietnam. God, Al, I can save Tom.
You can't change something that isn't meant to be changed.
Look, I can try. I just believe that if you're going to risk your life, it should mean something. You don't think I'm coming back, do you? I am not going to get killed, and no. The truth is, little brother, neither of us can see into the future.
What happened?
Sam told her Tom's gonna die.
I didn't, Sam. I told you to keep that to yourself.
You're not changing anything. Your father still dies in '72. Tom still gets killed in Vietnam. You're not changing their future, Sam. All you're doing is making their present miserable.
Okay. I made it up. I made it all up. I made up everything because I didn't want Tom to go to Vietnam.
Oh, Sam.
I'm sorry. It's not fair, Al. I mean, come on, it's not fair.
Well, I think it's damn fair. I'd give anything to see my father and my sister for a few days, to be able to talk with them again, laugh with them, tell them how much I love them. I'd give anything to have what you have, Sam. Anything.
Please stay with us for more of the Museum of Television and Radio's Science Fiction, A Journey into the Unknown. When we return, Dean Cain's Superman will take us back to the early days of outer space on television.
Truly inspiring.
In the early 1950s, science fiction television was aimed at kids. I'm Dean Cain. On Saturday mornings, those kids lucky enough to even own a television set were spellbound by the thrilling exploits of space heroes like Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers. Kids didn't care that the spaceships and space weapons looked more like kitchen utensils, or that the costumes were corny. To them, the early space television shows were a window to worlds beyond, and they gladly looked on. Influenced by the success of science fiction radio and film in the 30s and 40s, television launched its own brand of hero. Here is a short sample of what you might find on Saturday mornings in the 1950s.
Space Patrol! I
high adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol.
Android, attack. Android, attack.
From here, Corey, you go no place at all. As I said, Corey, from here you go no place at all.
Captain Video!
Captain Video to Sam Screed. Captain Video to Sam Screed. I read you, over.
Calling Captain Video aboard the Galaxy.
This is Captain Video. What is it, Screed?
This is Sam Screed aboard the Orion.
Yes, I read you, Everett. How did you manage to get free?
Let's not play game questions and answers, Captain. All I want from you is the answer to one question. How is Captain Video going to feel when he learns that I, Dr. Foley, his bitterest enemy, has also reached the outer limits?
Corbett, Space Cadet.
Hi, gang. You know, this new rocket scout we're about to speed test is really something.
Space Academy, USA, in the year 2354 AD. The world beyond tomorrow.
Hiya, Tom. Roger. I didn't know you fellas were aboard this ship. Just having a look around. What are you doing here?
Same thing. She's a beautiful ship, isn't she?
Sure is.
I can hardly wait for the speed trial tomorrow.
3, 2, 1, 0! So until next fall, when we hope to blast off with you again, spaceman's luck to you all.
Okay, Venus?
Okay, Steve.
Right. Let's go.
Kids' television in the early 60s came with strings attached. Puppets were launched into outer space with the help of a process called supermarionation.
Worry, Steve Zodiac. Unlike Earthmen, we do not make mistakes.
That's what you think.
I guess I know now why they call you the greatest astronaut on Space Patrol.
I think you're cute, too. Space Patrol, this is Fireball XL5 returning to base. Mission complete. Over and out.
By 1965, science fiction on Saturday mornings took one small step for kids and one giant step for their parents when the first soap opera of the space age landed in prime time. Inspired by the children's classic Swiss Family Robinson, Irwin Allen's first television series became a kind of Space Family Robinson.
Truly inspiring.
6, 5, 4.
Based on the premise that Earth is too crowded, the family is sent on the first mission to colonize other worlds. Unfortunately, their mission is sabotaged by a stowaway who tampers with the family robot.
Hey, what are you doing there? You're not supposed to do that.
Destroy.
Well, of course, we don't know how far yet.
For several celestial seasons, we were all lost in space as the pioneering Robinsons wandered from planet to planet trying to find their way home.
Warning! Warning!
Don!
As of this moment, the spacecraft has passed the limits of our galaxy, hopelessly lost in space.
Affirmative.
By 1966, if you really wanted to try something different, there was a little-noticed action-adventure space western. One early review in Variety referred to this space western as dreary and confusing, concluding that the show was better suited to Saturday morning. Viewers who tuned in on Thursday nights felt otherwise.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission, to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
It's been said that few ideas in the history of television have inspired more passion and allegiance than Star Trek, which was created by Gene Roddenberry. Week after week, devoted viewers were intrigued by the multicultural crew and enticed by the show's optimistic view of the future, which reflected the idealism of the 60s.
Star Trek went to the heart of trying to do very good science fiction and have the ensemble cast and the common background every week, so that you felt like voyaging with this particular family of people, because they got into the most interesting adventures.
You've got my ship and I want it back.
Commanding the USS Enterprise is James T. Kirk, an impetuous guy with guts and compassion.
Feel my way. Make absolutely sure.
Spock here.
His first officer is Mr. Spock.
I have a human half, you see, as well as an alien half, submerged, constantly at war with each other.
A no-nonsense alien, half human, half Vulcan, who is loyal, logical, and likable.
Fascinating.
Each week, viewers voyaged beyond their wildest dreams.
What are you? I am the Guardian of Forever.
A time portal, Captain. A gateway to other times and dimensions.
Exploring new planets and new civilizations.
All right, Spock, you have all the answers. What now?
Omega, your tone is increasingly hostile.
My tone isn't the only thing that's hostile, Mr. Spock.
Curious. Most illogical.
And I'm sick and tired of your logic.
We could use a little inspiration.
A little less analysis and more action.
Get us off, Scott. We should be moving, but we're not. What are you doing?
Our boosters.
We'll never be able to hold orbit.
Would you rather stay here?
No, Mr. Spock.
No. No, I won't kill you.
No, I won't kill him. Do you hear?
You're a Metrone?
By sparing your helpless enemy, who surely would have destroyed you, you demonstrated the advanced trait of mercy. Something we hardly expected. We feel that there may be hope for your kind. Therefore, you will not be destroyed. It would not be civilized.
No matter what civilizations the crew of the Enterprise discovered, or obstacles they encountered, fans could always count on close encounters of another kind.
All this power surging and throbbing, yet under control. Are you like that, Captain? For this evening, I was told I am your slave.
You must know what you're doing.
You are here because I wished you here.
I do not wish to see you tortured in any way.
He had one serious love relationship in his life, and that was with Edith Keeler. In a past he couldn't change, so he lost her.
In the award-winning episode City on the Edge of Forever, Kirk and Spock travel back in time to Earth in an attempt to put history back on track.
We seem to be costumed a little out of step with the time.
I'm afraid I'm going to be difficult to explain in any case, Captain.
It is here that Kirk falls in love with a woman who must die if history is to resume its natural course.
What are your names?
Mine's Jim Kirk. His is Spock.
I'm Edith Keeler.
I find her most uncommon, Mr. Spock.
I saw her obituary. Some sort of traffic accident. This is how history went after McCoy changed it. With the A-bomb and with their V-2 rockets to carry them, Germany captured the world. But all this because McCoy came back and somehow kept her from dying in a street accident, as she was meant to.
I believe I'm in love with Edith Keeler.
Jim, Edith Keeler must die.
Saved her. Do you know what you just did?
He knows, Doctor. He knows.
On June 3rd, 1969, Star Trek's original mission ended.
Warp 1, Mr. Sulu.
Their mission continued in reruns, and soon everybody knew what their devoted fans had known all along. That Star Trek would become the cosmic cornerstone by which all other science fiction shows would be measured. Well, that was some ride from Captain Video to Captain Kirk, but we're not stopping here. Don't get up, stay strapped in your seats, because we'll be back with more of the best of science fiction on television. Up next, Carrie Fisher with the nuts and bolts of robots on television.
Will you let that dial alone?
Warning, warning. Robots are not toys for kids. I am the Lost in Space robot. We robots are functional beings capable of independent action.
I'm Carrie Fisher. Robots always seem to be stealing the show. My friends from Star Wars, R2-D2 and C-3PO, proved to be among the most memorable characters in the movie. Robots are our creations. When they get out of hand, we can turn them off. Or so we hope.
The more I see of people, the less I get used to them. As I was saying before my wavelength was interrupted, will you let that dial alone?
Hi, Reject. Oh my gosh, I've never been so glad to see anybody in my entire life.
I want a vacation.
This is a gadget, an automatic man, a very useful experimental machine. What can this machine do? Handle dangerous chemicals, or touch live wires without ever getting hurt. Someday soon, we'll have an automatic man around the house.
I am only wires and cold metal parts.
The first major robot star in a television series was our friend, the robot, from Lost in Space.
You're more than a machine.
You're our friend.
My computers are deeply affected.
Each week, he'd come to the aid of the Robinson family.
You sure are acting funny.
Warning, immediate danger.
What kind of danger?
My sensors will not accept the possibility of its existence.
Confronting rogues, rascals, even Robbie the Robot, one of the most famous robots of all time.
Correction, not robot, robotoid.
It is time we talk. In comparison to myself, you are very ignorant.
The Robinsons belong to me. I will not give up my family.
In a short while, I will be indispensable to them.
You are mistaken. Your efforts will be denied by me.
You are even more stupid than I first computed. Foolish, sad machine.
The series, The Outer Limits, explored the more serious side of robots. For the first time, television examined the problems that happen when man plays God and invents a living machine.
Run, Johnny, run.
I'm teaching him to think, to reason, to perform, but he's still a creation, a machine.
In this highly acclaimed episode, a robot is falsely accused of turning against its creator and murdering him.
Dr. Link, you should not try to fix things. That is what you have me for.
It moves, it talks, it's human. Wait a minute, that's what we need?
Counsel for the defense. It'll be the story of the year. The state versus Adam Link. First all-functional robot. Thinks, talks, acts.
Accused of murder.
Aren't we rushing pell-mell without responsibility towards some dreadful catastrophe? It's an unreasoning piece of destructive machinery and never will be properly mastered. I don't think we should let such a force loose on the earth.
The court finds the defendant guilty as charged.
The defendant is to be destroyed, then?
It is so ordered.
There's the wagon. Well, there's the end of your story. That terrible monster won't harm anybody ever again.
It's not the end of the story. It's just the beginning.
From these early Tin Man days, robots on television have become more sophisticated. Programs now explored something new, the evolution of man into machine. The price tag, $6 million.
Steve Austin, astronaut, a man barely alive.
Gentlemen, we can rebuild him. We have the technology. We have the capability to make the world's first bionic man.
Bionics, man as machine. The year is 1974, and Lee Majors plays secret agent Steve Austin, crime fighter, hero, and all-around athlete. Each week, Austin proved the notion that science was capable of turning man into Superman. By 1975, Austin got a companion played by Lindsay Wagner, the Bionic Woman.
Wow!
Bionics took one step further in RoboCop.
Hands above your head. You are under arrest.
A syndicated television show based on the hit movie. Set in the near future, a fatally wounded policeman is transformed into a virtually indestructible robot whose powers seem unlimited.
He's online.
The program offers an intriguing dilemma in science fiction, a robot with an identity crisis. The body may be robotic, but the memories and soul are clearly human.
Whoa, RoboCop! You're my hero. When I grow up, I'm gonna be just like you. When I grow up, I'm gonna be just like you, Dad.
You were thinking about him again, weren't you?
Images are all that's left of what I was. I want to remember.
Max Headroom turned robotics inside out. His adventures take us into a strange techno-future where a TV reporter's memories are trapped in a computer and reincarnated as a smart alecky talking head.
Mama. Talking to me, Mr. Grossberg. I think it's calling me Mama.
What is that?
Mama. Computer-generated Edison Carter. For the moment, there's only enough memory buffer to generate his head. Too many coordinates for the rest of his body. But you're looking at the future, Mr. Grossberg. People translated as data.
Enter data now.
Beyond Max Headroom, data from Star Trek, The Next Generation. Flesh and bolts. The total, complete, functioning android. A machine with all the right parts except one. Emotion.
Lieutenant Tesora just gave me what could be considered a very passionate kiss in the torpedo bay.
Really? And?
I was intrigued.
Well, what do you think of her, Data?
I find her to be a competent officer, highly motivated, though somewhat lacking in her understanding of the theory underlying the dilithium matrix application.
I meant personally.
I look forward to the time we spend together.
Well, then it seems the next move is yours.
But I am not capable of love.
Then it's going to be a very unique experience.
And like humans, even an android questions his own existence.
May I ask you a question, sir? Certainly. Why did you create me? Why does a painter paint? Why does a boxer box? Now let me ask you a question. Why are humans so fascinated by old things? Perhaps for humans, old things represent a tie to the past. Well, what's so important about the past? Humans are mortal. They seem to need a sense of continuity. I suppose it is a factor in the human desire to procreate. Oh, so you believe that having children gives humans a sense of immortality, do you? It is a reasonable explanation to your query, sir. And to yours as well, Data.
The evolution of television robots has come full circle. From cute and innocent...
It does not compute.
...to wise and fully functional.
Hide.
But whatever their form, robots are a reflection of us. They are our creations. And what science fiction on television says about them reveals even more about us. We will be back in a few minutes with more of the best in science fiction and fantasy when the Museum of Television and Radio special continues. Just ahead, Leonard Nimoy with a journey into nightmare worlds.
Our excursion continues now with the darker side of science fiction, the world of nightmares. These strange worlds are the stage for two of the most innovative programs ever created, The Twilight Zone and The Prisoner. Rod Serling created The Twilight Zone in 1959, and every Friday night for 5 years we gained entrance into this macabre world. A horrifying place where nightmares lurk behind closed doors. A door that is unlocked with the key of imagination. Beyond it,
a dimension of sound, a dimension of sight, a dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
unforgettable images like these were a mainstay on The Twilight Zone. A never-ending stream of imaginative visions and chilling fantasies.
Won't somebody take a lamp or a bottle or something and end this?
You, Mr. Bemis, are a reader.
A reader?
A reader. Yes, a reader of books. Magazines, periodicals, newspapers. I see you constantly going downstairs into the vault during your lunch hour.
Books! All the books I'll need. All the books I'll ever want. Shelley, Shakespeare, Shaw. All the books I want. Time. Ah, there's time enough at last. That's not fair. That's not fair at all. There was time now. There was all the time I needed. It's not fair. That's not fair.
Out there. What? Look, he's crawling on...
Yes, Mr. Wilson? Can I help you, Mr. Wilson?
I know I had a mental breakdown. I know I had it in an airplane. I know it looks to you as if the same thing's happening again, but it isn't.
Hurry! Hurry! He's out there!
What's going on?
He's pulling up one of the cowling plates.
Way of trying to commit suicide I ever heard of.
It's all right now, darling.
I know. But I'm the only one who does know. Right now.
The temperature stood at 110 degrees at 11 o'clock this morning. Humidity 91%. Forecast for tomorrow, hot.
There was a scientist on the radio this morning. He said that it'll get a lot hotter, more each day, now that we're moving so close to the sun.
You know, Mrs. Bronson, I keep getting this crazy thought. This crazy thought that I'm going to wake up and none of this will have happened. I'll wake up in a cool bed. It'll be night outside. And there'll be a wind. Branches rustling.
As hot as it is, it could be so much worse. Oh, Norma, it could be so much worse.
Coming out of it now. Norma. Norma.
Yes?
You've been running a very high fever, but I think it's broken now.
Fever?
I wish I had something left to give her, but the medicine's pretty much all gone now.
Oh, there was a scientist on the radio this morning. He was trying to explain what happened, how the Earth had changed its orbit and was starting to move away from the sun, and that within 1, 2, or maybe 3 weeks at the most, there wouldn't be any more sun. We'd all freeze.
Isn't it wonderful to have darkness, coolness?
Yes, my dear. It's wonderful.
Some of the Twilight Zone's most surreal nightmares were thinly veiled explorations of very real social issues. We look now at perhaps the most acclaimed Twilight Zone of all time. The episode, Eye of the Beholder.
When will they take the bandages off? How long, nurse?
Until they decide whether or not they can fix your face.
Doctor, may I walk outside and sit in the garden just to make believe I am normal? I want to belong. I want to be like everybody.
Now, one of the alternatives, just in the event that this last treatment is not successful, this is simply to allow you to move into a special area in which people of your kind have been congregated.
Congregated? Oh, you mean segregated? You ain't in prison, don't you, Doctor? You're talking about a ghetto, aren't you? A ghetto designed for freaks. Please take this off me. Please take this off me. Oh, please take this off me. Take it off me. Take it off me.
All right, Miss Tyler. No change. No change at all.
Turn on the lights.
Now the questions that come to mind. What kind of world where ugliness is the norm and beauty the deviation from that norm? You want an answer? The answer is it doesn't make any difference. Because the old saying happens to be true. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Lesson to be learned in the Twilight Zone.
In 1964, the Twilight Zone door closed for the last time on network television. In 1968, the highly acclaimed series The Prisoner took science fiction again to the cutting edge. Loaded with surreal symbols and props, the program carries a cult status today, undiminished by time. The Prisoner is a bizarre, puzzling, sometimes confusing, always provocative mind trip. It was the unique vision of Patrick McGoohan who created and starred in The Prisoner. The series is about a secret agent who quits his high-security job. The government wants to find out why. A mysterious figure follows him, rendering him unconscious. He awakens in a never-never land called The Village, where the series is played out. Here are highlights from several episodes of The Prisoner. Brace yourself. What you're about to experience is television turned upside down.
Where am I? In the village.
Good morning, all. It's another beautiful day. Your attention, please. Here are two announcements. Ice cream is now on sale for your enjoyment. The flavor of the day is strawberry.
What's it all about?
It's a question of your resignation.
Go on.
The information in your head is priceless. A man like you is worth a great deal on the open market.
I don't know who you are or who you work for. And I don't care.
I'm leaving.
Let's make a deal. Tell us what we want to know. This can be a very nice place.
I will not make any deals with you. I've resigned. I will not be pushed, filed, stamped, indexed, briefed, debriefed, or numbered. My life is my own. You won't hold me.
Number 6, heading for outer zone in our vehicle. Orange alert.
Do you still think you can escape? Number 6?
Well, I'm going to do better than that.
Oh?
Going to escape and come back.
Come back?
I mean, escape, come back, wipe this place off the face of the earth, obliterate it, and you with it.
Don't worry, number 6. You'll be cured.
Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. This is it. 1 week. Neither of us can leave till death do us part.
Die!
3.
Die! Die!
1.
Die! Die!
Congratulations. We shall need the body for evidence. What do you desire?
Number 1.
I'll take you.
And who is the mysterious number 1, the ultimate power in this strange world? Patrick McGoohan answered the question in the final episode of The Prisoner, called Fallout.
I will not be pushed, filed, stamped, indexed, briefed, debriefed, or numbered. I will not be pushed, filed, stamped, indexed, briefed, debriefed, or numbered. My life is my own. I.
So, who is number 1 in the strange world of The Prisoner? We are. According to Patrick McGoohan's vision, we are the masters of our own fate. Or at least we should be. Coming up, Carrie Fisher with more adventures in outer space. We have engaged the Borg.
Science fiction in the 70s came in with a bang. I'm Carrie Fisher. There were bigger blow-ups, better dogfights, and enough high-tech, laser-lapping, supersonic special effects to entertain anyone within the galaxy limits. At the risk of sounding immodest, all this was fueled by the success of Star Wars. Its big-budget effects raised the stakes in science fiction on television. Bigger was better, and leading the way were 2 of the most expensive shows ever produced. Martin Landau and Barbara Bain went from Mission Impossible to an impossible mission when nuclear waste stored on the moon explodes, tearing them out of the Earth's orbit.
If this goes wrong, there won't be anybody to issue a communique.
Bonanza's Lorne Greene traded in the Ponderosa for a spaceship and his 6-shooter for lasers in Battlestar Galactica.
Launch fighters.
Decades later, shows like Babylon 5 and its computer-generated effects blew the lid off our perceptions.
Commander, it's on a collision course, heading straight for us.
The special effects themselves had become science fiction.
20 feet. 10. 5. Activating grapple. Negative contact on grapple.
40 seconds.
Activating grapple. I'm not getting it.
10 seconds.
If I don't get it on the next pass, you'll have to destroy it.
Understood. Stand by defense grid. Prepare to fire on my mark, not a second before.
Got it.
Skeptics said there never could be another Star Trek. But in 1987, Gene Roddenberry did it again on another frontier with yet another crew. At the helm was Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its continuing mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before.
In the 21 years that elapsed since the beginning of Trek Classic and the beginning of Star Trek The Next Generation, Gene Roddenberry had a different take on it, which was that all men are going to be brothers and they won't have arguments and they will all get along just fine, which made the drama and the conflict come in from outside.
Mr. Worf, dispatch a subspace message to Admiral Hansen. We have engaged the Borg.
No use. They've already adapted to the new frequencies.
The captain has been altered by the Borg. Altered?
He is a Borg.
This was his crew. He wrote the book on this ship.
You must let him go, Riker. It's the only way to beat him. The only way to save him.
I am Locutus, a Borg. From this time forward, you will service us.
Then take your best shot, Locutus, because we are about to intervene.
Mission accomplished. We have him.
How do you feel?
Almost human. With just a bit of a headache.
How much do you remember?
Everything.
Television not only allowed us to explore galaxies beyond our reach, it allowed us to explore the inhabitants of those galaxies.
I'm your nemesis. I'm your nightmare.
On an outpost at the edge of the final frontier, aliens coexist with Starfleet crew members aboard a giant space station called Deep Space Nine. Its reluctant new commander is Benjamin Sisko.
The challenge with Deep Space Nine was to create a new Star Trek franchise that did not use the Enterprise, and that was not, for all intents and purposes, a pale imitation of the Next Generation.
Talk to me. I want to help. I'm not just your bartender. I'm your friend. Whatever's wrong, I'm here for you. Hold that thought.
We decided that what we wanted to do with Deep Space Nine was to create a group of characters that did not all have the same agenda.
I was 12 when I started fighting, but I've heard of some who were even younger than that.
Yes, yes, let's get to the real issue. How many Cardassians did you kill? I mean, personally.
I didn't keep count.
Oh, I think you did. And I'm sure your total wasn't limited to military personnel. After all, the most effective terrorist weapon was random violence. Don't leave now, Major. It's just getting good. How many Cardassian civilians did you kill?
Look, I regret a lot of what I had to do.
How convenient of you.
We had no choice. We were fighting for survival.
So were we. We had an empire to protect. We needed your resources. Everything I did was for the greater glory of Cardassia. And if you spineless scum had to be ground under, so much the better. All that mattered was Cardassia. I loved my homeland. That's what justified my actions. That's what gave me strength.
Nothing justifies genocide.
What you call genocide, I call a day's work.
Everywhere you look in Deep Space Nine, there is conflict, and conflict brings with it story.
I've got people out there killing people, Major. You suggest I turn a blind eye to that?
But they don't have a right to defend themselves?
They've crossed the line.
Determined to avert a war between a group of colonists and aliens, Sisko must go up against a lifelong friend.
I'm glad to see you had no trouble finding us, Ben. It seems that one disaster after another keeps bringing us back together again.
Lock on tractor beams.
Damn it.
Let us go, Ben.
You know I can't do that.
Then I suggest you duck.
He's turning away. Now's your chance. Fire.
It's over, Cal. For now, anyway. Next time, tell Starfleet to send someone else. It doesn't feel right you and I shooting at each other.
There won't be a next time. Stand down.
I don't think so, Ben.
He's helpless. Finish him.
I'm going to miss you, Ben. You've been a good friend.
So have you.
No! I thought you were strong, Commander. You're not. You're a fool. A sentimental fool.
I said I'd stop the Maquis, and I have. But I will not kill a good man for defending his home.
You disappoint me.
Don't expect me to lose any sleep over it. Mr. O'Brien, when you get a chance, I could use some help with these engines.
Yes, sir.
It is the unknown that defines our existence. We are constantly searching, not just for answers to our questions, but for new questions. We are explorers.
Stay tuned for more of the Museum of Television and Radio special, Science Fiction, A Journey into the Unknown. Coming up, Dean Cain takes us on a trip into other dimensions.
Travel provided by Continental, offering business first class service at a business class fare.
Science fiction on television has always challenged us to consider the fantastic. It always seems to beg the question, what else is out there beyond me? Sometimes the answer is found not in space or time, but in something called other dimensions. Weird places where we can exist in two different worlds, two different planes at the same time. Television has long ventured into these netherworlds with stories that have ranged from comedic to downright terrifying.
Captain, I don't know what's going on. If there was an antimatter being here right now, my hand would go straight through him. Two parallel worlds that exist side by side.
That's a little metaphysical for me.
Mommy!
Tina?
Where are you?
We'll be in a minute, honey. Just hang on tight.
I'm not in either place. Hold on to my hand.
One of the earliest programs to explore strange worlds alongside our own was the Roald Dahl series, Way Out. In this episode, an actress enters a new dimension when the death scene she's filming becomes too real.
I'm going to rehearse the scene. You must play it as it's written. No. It's no good trying to fill out your part, Miss Draco. The scene won't work that way.
What is going on here?
On Deep Space Nine, Kira met her match.
Who are you?
I'm Kira Nerys.
That makes two of us.
Meanwhile, Data dealt with this dilemma.
There appears to be three of us. Should I drop the antimatter or wait for one of you? Only one of us is in the correct time continuum. Which one? It's me.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In the new Twilight Zone, a couple discovers that time is created by a faceless army of workers whose job is to literally build the future minute by minute.
Get down out of my house, you creeps!
Get out! Creep!
Michael, where is everybody? Hasn't anybody seen this? Hasn't anybody called the police?
Get that bookcase out of the alley. Careful getting it through the doorway. Hey!
Michael!
Over here, honey! What is all this? What the hell is going on?
We're talking about time, Mr. Wright. You two somehow have skipped over a few hours and landed here in the minute 11:37. I'm afraid you simply cannot be allowed to return.
Take over there and over there. I'll take back his office.
Mr. Wright! Mrs. Wright! You must come with me. Now!
No. Actual time is almost here.
20 seconds.
What's that noise?
It's the sound of actual time approaching.
10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, excuse me. We did it! We're back!
In the original Twilight Zone, even a shopping trip to the local department store can take you into another dimension.
9th floor.
There must be some mistake. There's nothing here. How about this? $25 even.
Going down.
Perhaps I can help you, Miss White.
Perhaps you can. This thimble, it's dented and scratched.
Your receipt?
I gave her a $20 bill and a $5 bill. She gave me this thimble and I... Well, there she is. There's a woman who waited on me. Miss? Miss, I wonder if you'd...
Well, how is she?
Oh, she'll be all right, Mr. Armbruster. She was just frightened, that's all. But she's resting now. I think maybe even gone to sleep.
Marcia. Marcia.
Marcia? Who do you think you're fooling, Marcia?
Marcia.
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 You're fooling.
Well, Marcia, dear. Acting like a silly child. Remember, coming back now, is it?
I'm a mannequin. That's what I am. I'm a mannequin. And it was my turn to...
Your turn to leave us for a month. It was my turn starting last night. I'm one day delayed already.
Of course, I'm sorry. I forgot. When you're on the outside, everything seems so normal.
Well, no serious harm done. Well, I'll see you all in a month. Take good care of yourselves.
Was it fun?
Ever so much fun. Ever so much fun.
Sometimes trips into other dimensions have a kinder or gentler feel. Call these excursions magic or miracles or simply fantasy. No matter what you call them, they make for wonderful television shows with story twists that defy normal explanations.
It's sort of funny. You've taken me to die in the cornfields where I should have died 3/4 of a century ago.
Look, Dad, you can tell those nutty stories to all the people at the old folks' home, but if you tell Brian that, he's not going to sleep at night.
As I remember it, the old...
Right to our new house. Mom! Dad! It's coming! It's coming right through this room! Full steam ahead!
Oh, my God, no.
Here's your ticket, old Pa. Can I come along with you?
You know that's not right, Brian. You belong here with your mom and dad. I belong on that there train. I am going somewhere.
Bye, old Pa.
Hey, let's see some smoke.
A one-time ball player's yearning for a simpler time and a second chance sparks the magic for this episode of the new Twilight Zone.
Well, I hear 20 Ed Hamners will get me a Reggie Jackson.
Wait.
But that's not even the real surprise. Take a look at this one.
Monty Hanks? He looks kind of familiar.
Kind of like the guy you see in the mirror, right?
happened to you?
Something wonderful.
A busted nose is wonderful.
And that's not all. I had 2 stolen bases and a 3-run homer. But I didn't need this. It's that baseball card. Somehow, it took me back. And this guy, Bonnie Hanks, I'm him. He's me. Oh, there you are. It's an early game today. I didn't want to leave without you.
I can't go today.
But today's the big one.
And I was thinking about 1910. It almost seems like you belong there.
Miss you.
I knew you'd do it.
A miraculous fantasy is at the heart of Steven Spielberg's amazing stories. The mission takes us on board a World War II bomber forced to land when a crew member, an aspiring cartoonist, becomes trapped in the turret below.
Bandits, 10 o'clock!
You clobbered him real good, buddy. You sent half of him back to creation. The only problem is you got the other half on top of you like a deadbolt.
Now, kid, can you hear me?
Yeah?
Good, because you're going to be stuck inside of Mama's belly. Chewie can land this thing and blowtorch you out of there, okay?
Cap, have you tried lowering the landing gear yet?
No indication showing, sir.
Jonathan, we're in a bit of a pickle, okay? Guess you know that already.
I'm not going to die in here. No, sir, I'm not going to do that. No, sir.
Captain, try it again.
The landing gear, sir.
Try that landing gear one more time for me.
Jonathan, can you hear me? Come on. Can you hear me? Wake up, kid. Come on, snap it. Snap out of it, boy.
Trips like these into other dimensions are the heart and soul of science fiction. When we come back, our friends William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy will continue our journey.
For the past 2 hours, we've taken a fantastic journey into science fiction and fantasy on television. The remarkable range of these shows is as infinite as the mind's imagination.
Where else but in science fiction and fantasy can someone travel through time, journey through space, enter other dimensions, meeting androids or aliens, or even a Klingon or two along the way?
What unites all these unreal images is science fiction's unique power to say things about our real world, our fears, our hopes, our desires, and most of all, our dreams for a better world. I'm Leonard Nimoy.
And I'm William Shatner. Good night for the Museum of Television and Radio special Science Fiction, A Journey into the Unknown.
We now return control of your television set to you.
Coming up on the 10 o'clock news, 3 young children die of carbon monoxide poisoning in their family truck. Is there something you need to know about where your kids ride? A prominent evangelist brings his crusade to the Piedmont. And how did you observe this Memorial Day? Do you think people have forgotten the true meaning of the day? It'll be your turn to tell us next on the 10 o'clock news.